Hello my dearest INFJ entrepreneurs. Welcome back to another video. Today what we're going to talk about is how do we connect with clients? How do we create opportunities for our businesses? Now, you might have heard me say this before, but in order for people to connect with you, you need to let them see you. And sometimes we wish to just be behind the scenes and never have to deal with people. In fact, many of us, that's our goal. Like, hey, I just wish for someone to just bring me the clients so I would never have to think about dealing with people. And I think that is some of our biggest pitfalls if we don't get a handle on that and we don't learn to deal with people. And not only deal with people, but enjoy dealing with people. Because we can if we want to. So one of our superpowers is to actually connect with people very deeply. And interestingly, we avoid that the most, even though we can. So I think compared to other people, because we have our intuitive functions, which are very much in functions, very much alive, we can sense people more, we can empathize with them more, we can check what's going on with them without even talking to them, we can be attuned to them, meaning that we know what's going on for them, we can read between the lines. So when they say something, but that's not really what they mean, we can already pick up on that, we can pick up on tone shifts, we can pick up on everything. Because we have this very good sense of intuitive inner judgment of what's going on with people. And some of us, it's even more sharper than you think. So when we are saying that, oh, I don't want to deal with people, it's usually coming from some kind of hurt place where you're like disappointed in them. When your belief in people is like, oh, they're just annoying me. Oh, these clients, they're terrible, they're morons. And in fact, I used to be thinking the same way. It was easier for me to call someone a moron than to actually take the time to understand them and to take the time to connect with them and to take the time to really put myself into their shoes and see what's going on. Because most of the times, wanting to understand people takes more effort than just saying, oh, they're idiots. And somehow I think one of the other things that we avoid people like the plague is because some people are draining to us. So not all client relationships are going to be like, yeah, that's amazing, give me more of that. But some of them will be difficult sometimes. And what I've learned in navigating with difficult clients, because not all my clients are amazing all the time. And even if they are amazing, most of the times, they can also have shitty days when they are not so, willing, and they're sometimes difficult. In fact, sometimes I can be difficult as well. So what I've learned to do those days is not to take things face value. If the client is most of the time normal, but sometimes have bad days, I don't take it personally. Like, I've used emotional intelligence that we can all tap into. If you don't have it, like you didn't work on it, let me know. We can do masterclasses on it. But tapping into your emotional intelligence is going to help you navigate through difficult moments with clients, difficult people, and handling them and shifting the mood completely, because you can. I haven't been aware of how easy I can shift people's moods until I started doing it. And in order to anyone to shift anyone's mood, you need to have this one thing that I call emotional resource. So we have 3 types of energetic resources. We have physical, like exercising, having physical energy. And we have mental energy, which is bandwidth, which is how many things I can do at the same time without getting overwhelmed. And emotional resource is like how much I can contain people and myself. So emotional resource is basically like I can contain my own emotions, I can be operating under pressure, and I can maintain myself without becoming angry or frustrated or exploding on people. That's self-containment. And then how can I contain other people as well? One day I had a lot of emotional resource and I went to an Italian restaurant that's right next to my apartment. I love that restaurant and I go there often. I love their food. It's amazing. So when I entered the restaurant, I noticed that it's packed. Obviously, it's dinner time. Everyone is there to eat and it's packed. So what I usually do is I just order takeouts and I pick it up and, I eat at home. Why would I be there? It's close to me. I can just eat at my own place. No problem. So when I go and walk into the restaurant, I see a female lady waiter just feeling a little overwhelmed and just like running around. As I catch her to ask her, hey, can I order? She is like obviously very frustrated and she tells me, yeah, you can order, but it's going to be taking an hour, right? Do you want it? And I'm like, no problem. I'll be back in an hour. So as I was reacting, like she was obviously very intense. And as I was reacting, like, no problem. I'm just right here. I'll swing by. Let me know when it's gone. Like, let me know when it's done. And she's like, it's gonna take an hour. No problem. I'm gonna be back. So that was my first reaction immediately. So I felt the tension from her. And I was likeness. I had the resource. I couldn't contain her. I could not be falling off my own emotional balance and be affected by her because I could rebalance myself. Like, I was like, whoa, that's interesting, but I'm fine. I'm having a great day. I have emotional resource left and I'll be back. No problem. And then as I was wanting to just leave, I had this intuition to just be like, you okay? And I remember just turning to her, just somehow touching her like arm a little bit as I was turning, like before I was just about to leave. And I was like, are you okay? And she said, actually, I'm not. And this has been the most insane day. I'm so tired. I'm so hungry. This is just too much. I can't handle this. Like, this is too much. And I was like, okay, I hope you feel better. And I left. And when I came back to the restaurant, and about an hour later, she was like, here's your food. It's like, thank you. And let me just tell you, you are an angel. And in fact, what she did, she was like talking to all the chefs in the kitchen. She's like, guys, look at her. She's an angel. Just, I want everyone, she's an angel. And she gave me a free dessert and she gave me extra cheese and she gave me all of it and she called me an angel. She said, I'm the nicest person that she met in the longest time. And I left. I'm like, well, thank you. Thanks for that. And I came home. And then I contemplated, okay, like what the hell just happened? I just met a person who was overwhelmed and frankly, not very nice to me. Like her tone was not very nice, but because I had my emotional resource and I could contain myself and I could shift her out of her own misery, she completely changed 180 and she was the nicest, kindest person. She called me an angel. Honestly, I wasn't even like looking any good. Like I had my hair up in a bun, like no makeup, like nothing whatsoever, but somehow that humane experience of like, no problem, like I'm balanced, I'm fine, I'm having resource, I can contain you, I can contain me, I cannot lose my center, I can be okay, and I can hold you, and then you can tell me that you had a bad day, and I can hear you, and I can be like, okay, I'm sorry to hear that. And that shifts you out of your misery. So, and not only that, but then she was like, I love you. Who are you? So, what does that tell us? It gives us a clue about our powers with people. And when I have to describe our type of influence, is always a quiet one. Because we are observant by nature, we can pick up on things that people cannot pick up on. We know how to connect with people when we want to connect with them. And we know how to even shift them out of a grumpy mood into the jolliest, lightest person in the room. I have it, you have it, we have it. So how do we get clients? First of all, we need to connect with them. And we need to use our intuition and empathy and curiosity to do so. And we need to know who we are, who we're not, who we are for, who we're not for, so that we can connect with people. And we need to let them see us, not just see them. That's also important. In order for people to connect with you, you need to show who you are, your personality, what you stand for, and that has to come through for you. And I cannot help you discover like who you are because that's everyone's individual journey. But what I found is the more I can express myself and put things out there that I think is important, even though I visibility online is not easy to put yourself out there to everyone to see and judge and think whatever they want to think. But I realize that the more I do that, the more I can connect with people, the more that my message, which is the most important to us, is that what we do matters, and we want people to understand how much that matters, right? So we need to put that out there. We need people to see us. So not only we can connect with them, but they can connect to us. It's a two-way street. I cannot just connect with people and then not let them feel or see me. I can't skip people. but I can shift them into whatever mood that I want them to be. No, I can't shift their moods, but I can keep myself light when someone is heavy, and try to shift them out of that if I want to. And when there are misunderstandings, we can use our emotional intelligence and intuition to guide us through it. And the more we do it, the better it gets, the easier it gets. So how do we get clients? We get closer to ourselves and who we are and what we stand for, and express that. Now, I want to peel back the onion a little bit here, because I always talk about peeling back the onion. There's a lot of things that when we are in business, especially in business, and we see social media, we see what other people are doing, we see like, okay, we should do this post and that post and this and that, and like that's what people say we should do, and so we do it. I think the difficulty becomes from like, okay, but if I try to copy someone else's strategy because I see that's working for them, but I actually don't like doing it and it's not for me, and I don't even know why I'm doing it. Like, I'm trying to pretend to be someone that I'm not. So what is the challenge is to turn back to your core, which is who you are, and let that be enough for now. Because what I've came to realize in getting clients was the more I was expressing unapologetically and just minding my business and talking about the things that I wanted to talk about, and marketing and my work, and then just sharing that with people, like the more I did that, the better they were like, that's interesting, that's interesting that your skill, like I could demonstrate my skills, that I knew like what is something that you already know that you're good at, can you show that to people that you know? So instead of be like, I know this, believe me, I can help you, believe me, instead of like, let me show you. When I do my magic, that's how it looks like. When I write, when I do this, when I express, when I coach, whatever it is, when I teach, when I write, here's how I do it. Here's the magic. See the magic? That's the magic. So it becomes this, instead of looking outside of like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What am I doing? And being confused on like, what do I even say? How do I get clients? Like, I need to say something, right? Like, it becomes this like, how can I show people what my values are, what I care about, and what my work is about? Just show them. Show that to people and see if that's gonna take you to the next level. And actually, the only thing you need to know is what you know now. The rest of the steps will reveal themselves as you go. So it's not like I'm planning, okay, what's my next move? I'm just moving, and then I'll figure the next one after the next one. But if I'm waiting around thinking, okay, what it would be the most perfect post to get me clients, if that's how I'm thinking, it's so hard to move, because what if this is not the one? I can't see the next step without taking the first step, so it won't reveal itself. I'm just gonna halt and just pause and just wait until it's perfect, and then I might take another step. It's a waste of time. I'm gonna give you some easy connection prompts, because I actually might give you something that we shared in our virtual hangout last time. It's very easy for me to do this because I've been doing it for a long time, but I'm gonna teach you a very simple way to connect with people. Okay? So what we want when we connect with people, to get them to become clients, because that's how, they come from relationships, then lead to opportunities, and then lead to clients, right? So how do I connect with people? What I like to do is look for some commonality between me and them. And I use my perception to help me find out what that is. So I would, let's assume there is this CEO on LinkedIn that I want to hit up and connect with and see if there's an opportunity for us to work together. Now, what I would do is I would check his profile. I would read his articles. I would check the website. Like, again, it's up to you, like who's your audience? I don't know. What business you're in? I don't know. But I would look into the people that I'm trying to work with or build relationships with. And I would kind of stalk them. I'm like, okay, what do I see that is common with me, that I can relate with, that I can connect to? Because that's the biggest catch. You cannot possibly fake interest for something you're not interested in. So if you're not interested in psychology, you cannot be commenting on someone else's post or reaching out to them. Oh, I love that post about psychology. Like, it has to come from your heart, and it has to be you trying to spot what it is that is linking you together. And you need to find it. And you need to find that piece to start the connection. So let's assume in this scenario, I'm trying to connect with someone who, okay, let me just use this example that's actually happened. I was trying to connect with someone who is working with the body and using the body to heal certain problems. So for example, there's a lot of nervous system regulation in her work. And I remember checking her profile and just reading some of her work. And one of her things that she was saying that if you have a neck pain, it's likely because you're overthinking at night. And I found that piece interesting. And I messaged her like, hey, I just read about your post on the neck pain and how it's making you overthink. And it's kind of interesting. Like, it's kind of interesting to me what you're saying there. Like, I feel like I have a lot of neck pain. Like, could that be also that, and I opened the conversation. And at point, there was no like, I'm business owner, you're a client. Like, there was no definition of none of that. It was just me trying to understand this person by being curious, by checking their profile and just connecting. And when I was connecting with them, naturally, they were like, so what do you do? And I tell them what I do. Oh, it's interesting. Yeah. And then naturally, we can lead a conversation into, hey, like, have you thought about this? Have you thought about maybe creating a course or, whatnot? Yeah, I thought about it. Or I never thought about it. And somehow that natural, I don't want you guys to go into dictating advice, but like, have you thought about that? That's interesting. Like, maybe there's something there, but it doesn't have to come right away. Somehow you can let the seeds, you can plant seeds and you can let them go. That's how I got a client. I was just having a conversation. I was like, what are you planning to do? Like, oh, I want to make a course. That's interesting. Like, do you know how to do that? Like, have you tried to sell courses before? And I heard her entire business plan. I'm like, yeah, you know what? If you ever wanted to do that and need help selling it, I'm here. And she came back to me and we worked together. So what ends up happening sometimes is that we need to have a constant connection creation ways. So one of the ways we can create is through content, is through our expression, is through our demonstration of what we do, what we stand for, what we love, okay? And we can also be reaching out to people. And the underlining tone is we have to use ourselves to do so. So instead of trying to look like someone else that we're not, and trying to appear to be more louder or appear to be more blah 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 than we naturally are, we completely confuse clients who are interested in us and they like us for who we are. So I think the challenge then becomes like, okay, so if everything that I have is enough for now, knowing the fact that I'm gonna grow, because guys, we are self-help junkies. Like, let's just be real. Like, we cannot just not grow. That's in our emotional DNA to just be the same. Like, we are obsessed with learning stuff. So if what I have is enough, right now, I have everything I need at my disposal to get clients. What's gonna be my next move and how I'm going to show who I am, what I stand for, how I help in the most authentic way to me, whatever that is to you, and let that shine through and connect with people deeply and be curious about them, empathize with them, use your intuition, use your spy qualities to stand out, because most people don't take the time to do that. Like, most people don't take the time to listen to someone, get to know someone, understand someone. But you do. Most people don't take the time to think about what they're going to say in their message or how they're going to approach people or who are the people they're approaching to, or taking the time to get to know them before they do. But you do. So if that's the case, can we use that superpower to our advantage and be quiet leaders and quiet influencers in a marketplace where everyone is using AI and trying to automate and just trying to fasten, speeden up connections? Can we just use what we have already, their palettes and disposals, and connect with people that way? Now, I know this video went all over the place, but I really hope that this was helpful. If you're not already in our community, we'd love to see your face. Come and join our Facebook group. I'm going to put that in the link in the description. When you guys join, by the way, drop your emails and answer the questions, or else I'm not going to approve you. If you don't want to be on our newsletter, you can just let me know, hey, don't put me on the newsletter. Even though we are sending out emails when we meet in person, we are sending out emails when we meet for the virtual hangouts, and you get weekly newsletters sometimes when there's new content that goes live. But if you don't want that, it's fine. Just make sure you fill out the rest of the form. I just want to make sure that I know where you're at in your journey, what you need help with, what are your challenges, so we can really focus on curating more content and conversations topic that support you in the best way we can possibly support you. So that was it for today. Don't forget, courage over fear, progress over perfection. See you guys very soon.